What is up, Flick fans, and welcome back to my channel. As promised, today I am talking about diving deep into and reviewing the very first episode of One Punch Man Season 2. Now, I have never covered this show on my channel before. That's because only recently, well, within the last year, so I guess that's semi-recent, I discovered One Punch Man, and it is now one of my favorite animated / anime shows of all time. Guys, I love this show with everything in me. So when I heard that there is a new director, a new studio, basically new everything happening to this season, and it's going to be distinctly different from the season prior, I got worried. I was scared. I think everyone all around the world was worried that this season was not going to measure up to the first, or at least get close. And I will admit, Episode 1 of Season 2 is very different. It is something that I am still not used to yet, but there are definitely elements in there that intrigued me, surprised me, and got me excited for what's to come for the rest of the season. And I will start off this review by saying this: I actually semi-enjoyed Episode 1. And let me expand on that, because when I say semi-enjoyed, some people may take that as, oh, he didn't like the show. No, I enjoyed the episode for what it is. It is just so different and so not the One Punch Man that I'm used to. Same characters, same situations, some new characters for sure, and new elements that I will get into, but it's definitely a different feel. I didn't feel like this episode was as comedic as I wanted it to be. It felt a bit less self-aware, which is one of the things that I love about Season 1, and you can tell that there is a new director, and really a new studio, a new feel to the show, which once again, I love Season 1. It's one of the greatest seasons of television, in my opinion, of all time, or at least that I've ever seen. Alright, and this is one of the highest rated anime shows ever, so there was a lot of expectation, and the fact that they're going in such, not a different direction, but in such a modified direction, I didn't know we were getting a new theme, a new song for this season. And if you guys couldn't tell from the intro, I love the original theme. I did not want them to touch that. I wanted to see that start at the beginning, but once again, things are different now, and we just have to accept that as fans of the show. Now, if they continue to go in directions that we don't like as audience members, we have a right to complain, because this show is very sacred to a lot of people, me included, and I want this show to thrive and succeed. But for it to do that, we have to remain true to these characters and bring in some characters that feel like they fit into the show, play important roles, and do things that makes the audience happy, because at the end of the day, that is the most important. So let's get into the plot of Episode 1 of Season 2. So this episode begins in typical One Punch Man fashion. It is Saitama and Genos walking down the street having a conversation. Everything is so simple until it goes off the rails and the bad guys begin to attack. The villain is a reptilian creature with a long, stretchy tongue, as crazy as you expect it to be in the One Punch Man universe, and he is actually after, as many of these villains are, a certain hero. And no, it is not Saitama, it is King. And at the beginning of the episode, you think King is this all-powerful superhero, and I'm even sitting there going, alright, is King the new guy that Saitama has to take on this season? I was getting very excited, and then you realize the guy's just a wimp. He goes in the bathroom and starts crying. He's like, all of these villains are after me. I'm not even supposed to be a Class S superhero. What is happening right now? And it was a very different story than what I expected. Instead of focusing on our heroes and our characters that we know, they focused on this new character, developed him, and then integrated him within the story of One Punch Man and Genos. And I love that. I thought that was really cool. Then Saitama shows up to King's apartment as Genos takes on the villain that they were fighting at the beginning of the episode. While that story is going on, Saitama is really kind of messing with King. He's making fun of the video game that he's playing, and Saitama knows. He's like, listen, why did you chicken out? Why did you run away from the battle? Are you really the hero that you say that you are? And up until that point, I'm enjoying the episode, but I am sitting there waiting and wondering, is this going to kick into full gear? And as soon as you figure out that King has actually been at the site of all of Saitama's battles, and people believe that King is the hero defeating all of these villains, as Saitama is actually the person doing it, that's when this episode really kind of honed in on the storyline, got me hooked as an audience member, and it really set the tone for what this season can be. And once again, it is going to be a different season than what we're used to, but I really enjoyed that story. I like the character of King, this guy who shouldn't be considered a hero because he's not heroic in any sense of the word. He was just kind of thrown into the situation, and he starts apologizing to Saitama. He's like, listen, I took all of your credit. It shouldn't have been me. It should have been you because Saitama saved his life multiple times. And all of this is happening while Genos is meeting with his doctor, and I feel like we're going to get a bit more of his origin story in this season, and hopefully, and this isn't a prediction, it's just something that I hope happens, I hope he gets to take on the villain that killed his family. He is one of the most interesting characters in this show, and the more fleshing out we get for him, the happier I think the audience is going to be with this storyline and with this season in general. And then while all of this is happening, you have the emergency meeting going down where the 3 Class A heroes are up in front of all of the villains and they're discussing this prophecy, this world-ending prophecy. Something is coming and we know that something is probably going to lead to a big showdown, which I'm excited for. And a lot of people are just oblivious to One Punch Man. They don't even know he exists. But at the end of this episode, you have 2 particular groups, well, 1 person and then a group, wondering what is the secret to One Punch Man's strength? How did he get that strong? Well, we know his backstory, 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups. But they're curious, and I think that curiosity is going to lead to some very interesting interactions by the end of this season. So we're talking season 2, episode 1, and overall, I think this was a pretty solid way to start. Now, I think my love for this episode in particular will grow if the season progressively gets better, and the storylines that were started up in this episode get a nice payoff. Here's some things that I want to see, and I want to know in the comments down below, what are things that you guys want to see get better? Even if you love this episode, if you hated it, you're going to have a lot of things, but if you loved it, tell me some things that you think can improve down the line in this season. I want to see a bit more humor. I want to see a bit more, in particular, the self-awareness. That kind of humor is what I really loved about this show in season 1. A bit more zaniness, not that I want it to be over the top, because really some of the dialogue in this episode was a bit wacky, but it was more wacky in the expositional way, like the characters explaining and describing everything that they're doing at the moment. I want less of that. I want more character development, and I have to get used to this animation style because it's so different from what we're used to. I believe that One Punch Man, the first season, was one of the most beautiful animated shows I've ever seen, and the fact that they're straying away from that is still kind of hurt me deep down on the inside. But as a fan of this show, I want it to succeed. And really, episode 1, other than getting used to that new direction and animation style, I want to know what were your all's thoughts on this first episode of season 2 for One Punch Man. Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? Be sure to comment that down below. Let me know. Do you want to see me do more reviews or breakdowns in this nature? Maybe a reaction video? I've never done that for a series like this, but I would like to try it. Listen, guys, I love this show. I'm a huge fan. So anything you want me to do talking about One Punch Man, I would absolutely love to do it. Thank you so much for watching this video, for everything that you guys do, and I will catch you in my next video.